mean, a lot of times he's just sitting there with his arms folded. Everybody else is talking, and it seemed like so much of the focus was actually on Justin Haley instead of Corey Lajoie. And I think Corey took that in. I think he felt that during this right here. And it was really evident at the end of the press conference because Corey was the first up, and he was headed out. How today's announcements clears up a lot of speculation about a lot of other drivers, but also raises a question about another.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Hope everybody out there is off to an amazing Friday. Hope you're ready for some cool-ass racing at Bristol tonight. Man, this silly season just keeps getting more silly. A lot of people knew what was going to happen today. It had been talked about a good bit. I was actually quite interested that Justin Haley made the move like this. But, the news today, Justin Haley and Corey Lajoie swapping rides after Bristol, finishing out the rest of the seasons with their new teams respectively. And this is really wild to talk about. But first, I want to go to a couple other drivers because with this announcement today, this clears up some rumors on other avenues. And this is that Kyle Busch going to the 7 car. Because obviously Kyle is not going to the 7 car. There's no more partnership with Spire as far as rumors would go into the Cup Series with him. So that puts all that to an end. And also the rumors of Justin Haley over there replacing Alex Bowman at Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, this was such a rumor that Alex Bowman had to call the bosses and go, "Hey, man, is this really happening, or what's going on? Am I safe?" So obviously there was really something to this, but obviously this puts an end to all of that. And then the other news that Harrison Burton signing with AM Racing over there in the Xfinity Series. I think this had a big part with Rick Ware Racing right here with the announcement today from Harrison, because I think there was some talks there about putting him in that Rick Ware car. And obviously, maybe it was sponsorship. I don't know what the situation was, but I do believe that was part of it. And the announcement prior to the Haley and Lajoie announcement today of Harrison. So interesting stuff. But let's get to this press conference today. And man, I'm going to tell you, it was very interesting to me. And I'm going to share some mental notes that I took with this right here, because a lot of the focus today was on Justin Haley. And to me personally, it showed, because Corey Lajoie, his body mannerisms didn't seem to be really pleasurable with the situation and the atmosphere he was in. A lot of times he was sitting there with his arms folded, kind of looking off to the side. Because, like I say, a lot of the focus was on Justin, about his future and everything else. And as the press conference went on, we kind of got to see why a little bit more as it happened. And the interesting thing is this just came together within the last 36 hours. That was really fast to make something like this happen. And it's brought the question of, is this something that's going to happen in the future? Because we don't see driver swaps like this. Other sports, yes, but not in NASCAR. So it's interesting to see if this is something that's going to become something in the future, or what's going to happen. Hopefully not, but it worked for them. But the interesting stuff also with this was that this kind of transpired following the Olympic break, when Spire contacted Haley about coming over there to their team. And Haley went to Rick Ware Racing and told him, "I got this deal, And this was following the departure or the firing of Corey Lajoie from Spire. So, it was obvious they were looking for a transition prior to this. And Justin must have been the guy they had an eye on to start with. But this all, again, come together in 36 hours. So this was something, I think, on Rick Ware's part, that they were like, okay, let's do this. Now, the interesting part about this is that Justin Haley does have a full-time ride now for next year and everything else. Corey Lajoie does not. He has 7 races in this car to finish out the season to prove himself. And if he doesn't, he won't be back in that car. And it's also very interesting because Corey said he had offers and opportunities in Xfinity and the Truck Series and everything else, but he wanted to be in the Cup Series. And that's the thing. If he doesn't perform in this to the standards of what Rick Ware's looking for, to the standards of what Justin Haley's done in this car, there's not going to be a Cup ride out there open. And at that time, really probably not going to be much in the Xfinity or Truck Series for him. So if this doesn't work for him, not looking good for him in 2025. So I really expect Corey to be on the wheel over these last 7 races and trying to prove himself out there and prove himself worthy of the 2025 season with Rick Ware racing. So that's going to be pretty wild to see what happens with this. Now, Haley back over there with Spire. This is obviously where he won his first race. And, he's going back over there with him now. The cool thing now is he's partnering up with Hocevar, Michael McDowell. And the really cool part is he's partnering up with Rodney Childers. So this is something that'll be really interesting to see how these two adapt together, how fast they adapt together, and how Haley coming to the team helps the other drivers over there, because he's obviously been influential with Rick Ware to the better runs that they've been having. So this is going to be a really cool scenario to follow. Once again, to see if Corey can secure that ride for 2025 and see how fast Haley and Childers can come together. Now, again, so many silly season news and rumors going out here. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say the next story that you're going to hear right now is going to be of 2311 signing this agreement. And I'm going to tell you my reasons behind this, because there's still one charter out there floating around right now. And it's interesting that Front Row is the other one who got one of these charters, and they're kind of in the mix with 2311 with this right here. But I think 2311 is going to have to sign. And I think if they want this charter, they're going to have to make this happen soon. And whether that be in buying the charter or possibly leasing it for a year, I think this is going to happen really, really soon. I don't think they're going to wait all the way to the end of the year, because I think sponsorship issues and things like that, having a driver sign with you, they want to know what's going on. So I think this is going to have to be done soon to make sure 2025 happens as far as a third team. The interesting thing too is we've heard Martin Truex is going to run the Daytona 500 with them next year, possibly some other races. But this is a combination deal between Joe Gibbs Racing and 2311. So it's not falling all on 2311's shoulders. So they could get a third charter, go out there and run with that, and have a fourth car running open that would technically be a Joe Gibbs car. So, man, interesting stuff. I love all this news. It's just a wild shakeup to the season, and it makes you excited for 2025. So anyways, what's your thoughts on everything? Throw them comments down below. Let's talk about all this. But man, great racing. Got the Xfinity race tonight. Dale Jr. out there in what's looking like his final race. So not being biased here, but let's go get it done, Junior. Be a great way to walk away in style. And man, I'd love to see it. But once again, hope you're off to a great week. Having a great weekend coming up. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.